Hi guys, I wanted to show you my farm on Gala's Townstar game. This is my third farm, i.e. month 3, and I've set up a wool and uniform rush. Let me take you through what I've set up. Now it starts with crop, and for the sheep you need to get a crop of wheat. With that you obviously want to get some silos to store the wheat. Now the distance between the crop and the silos is quite important. You want it as close as possible to reduce the time of what it takes for farmers to collect it and put it into the silos. As you can see, I've upgraded to tractors, and I'll talk a little bit about them later on in a bit more detail. So once the farmers have collected the crop and put it in the silos, you've got your ranch hands that collect it from the silos, take it to the feeders, then to the troughs, from which point the sheep will collect from the trough. Now the farmers, I've upgraded to tractors. I've also upgraded the ranch hands to ATVs. They are super effective. Um, Obviously setting up, you can't really start and go straight into the ATVs and tractors, but once you start building up a bit of cash to save space on your property, with obviously units, and to keep it effective, you can upgrade. And if I was to hazard a ratio, I would say one ATV could equal probably 3 to 4 ranch hands, and one tractor could easily equal 3 to 4 farmers as well. If you look at this tractor, he's just collected far corner. In 3 to 4 seconds, he's made it right the way across, which, has delivered that wheat into the silo very quickly, and he's off again. If I had a farmer on that job, he'd still be there now. So once the ranch hands have taken it in, as I said, I've set up 7 sheep here. I gave room for expansion to 10 or so. However, I found 7's quite sufficient to run the operation unmanaged. If you increase that too much, you may on this occasion have too many um, you know wool yarns filling up your storage. You kind of want it to be an even balance to produce uniform, which I'll go into. So that's my sheep. You've obviously got to have water to passively give them. So I've just set up a stretch of ponds in the background, as it says, room for expansion, and double use of that. I've set up some trees for the lumberjacks, and I'll go through the location of trees. It's quite important. Again, it's about time and motion study, so you do need them in a specific place to reduce your lumberjacks. You can see my whole operation is only running on 3, which in some case you'll see other people's farms with like 10 plus just for this type of crop. So once your wool's been collected from the sheep, it will go into the storage, and my first factory is set up right next to it to make wool. That factory is passively getting power from the power plant, which doesn't require any oil, and that factory will just keep producing. The wool yarn will go into storage. Sorry, the wool will go into the storage, and the guy will pop out and he will, collect his wool and make yarn. Sorry. The next factory along is my uniform factory. I've located it there purely to get double use out of that power plant. The other 2 factories are located over here. Again, nice quick journey distance for the for the workers to collect the cotton from these silos, which cotton I have mixed in with the wheat crop around these 2 fields, and they will just come in and they'll collect. You need 3 cotton, 1 lumber to produce cotton yarn, and for the actual uniform itself it will require 3 cotton and 1 wool, obviously energy, to make uniform, which is quite good sale, to be fair. So again, we've mentioned lumber. My lumberjack house is located in the far corner next to a medium sized crop of trees here. It's all about balance. You know, I've got two storage or two lumber yards that will take 20 each, and you need a fine balance. You don't want it filling up with lumber, one or the other, and no, no wood to feed the sheep because they will require one. So you need to look at it. I did set this up with actually two lumber yards, but after a while I found I just had 40 lumber all the time and no trees, so I reduced that down to one. And as you can see, I'm making best use out of these power plants. We're running a factory on this side along with the refinery in the middle, and on this side I've got it running the factory and the lumber yard. So two here are running four premises, if you like, for power. No requirement for batteries beyond the point of setting these up. Now if I wanted to run batteries, I can turn one of these on. It will require crude oil, and what I've done there a bit cheekily is drop two NFTs which produce passive crude oil. So they are currently running the refinery because that requires crude oil to create petroleum. So if I wanted to create petroleum, I turn that on and automatically it's got its energy and it's got its crude oil, so that will just produce petroleum, stick it straight into my storage, and then I'll flick it across. Oh, don't want to rotate, don't want to flush it on the wrong item. And flick it across to gasoline, and then it'll collect and turn into gasoline. So I've constantly got a supply of give or take between 110 120 depending on what I flick this on, and I'm only on day 6 or 7, 3 hours or so in setting this one up. So that's how I keep my fuel and run two factories in the lumber yard. The ATVs and the tractors, I believe, have to sit on a paved road, so you might want to get that done before you start dropping too many of these tractors and ATVs, because when you're converting the road, it does take it out of action, and if you're running quite lean, that can have quite a knock-on effect. So before you start dropping these, think about where you're putting them, build your road in advance. Now the places where I've got my tree production is close to the required facilities, so you can see I've got a single line here and with a storage at the end, so when the lumberjack's finished over this side, I'll have one or two nip over here, and he'll keep this topped up, 6 wood and obviously 3 lumber. That lumber's nice and close for this factory. Obviously uniforms don't require lumber, so that's okay, and if these guys need wood, they've only got a short distance. The main setup for wood is over in this corner, and what you've got is you've got the lumberjack permanently on the job. I will need 3 lumbers every 3-4 minutes to run these 3 factories. As you can see, he's quite happy there. Ergonomically, I would have liked a road, but hey ho, you can live with some things, and the short distance between this storage and lumber yard for him to cross isn't too bad. So he's got his crop there that will constantly keep him happy, plus give some overflow for wood for any ATVs that want to pop in like this chap and get some wood for some of the sheepy. I think that's pretty much it, to be fair to you. Storage is quite important if you're leaving it self-managed. I can leave this for a good sort of 2 to 3 hours while I go out, and I'll come back and I'll have in the region of 40, 50, 60 if everything's been running well. Uniform to sell, at roughly 320, 340, whatever they are. You get a couple of million, every couple of hours, give or take. Yes, I could constantly sell fuel because I've got abundance of that at 14k a pop, but to be fair to you, I only do that when I'm setting up and arranging the farm. So this is done. This is self-managed. It's got enough cash, 8 million, 8.2 million. Not really in the hunt for the stars. I'm sitting somewhere low at 600. Tried my best with setting up in my previous farm series of mines. I got up to 2-3 million, I can't remember. Star made it into the top 160, 180. But the guys are playing with multiple NFTs that are much more valuable. utility wise than what I've got, which I'll show you in a minute. That hit 25 to 30 million stars, that is, within the 30-day period. So I'm going to end the video quick. I just wanted to let you know my NFTs that I'm very lucky to have is 2 graveyards. Never need to get oil pumps. I have Mr. Puddles that's super helpful with setting up these ponds when you want to go heavy on doing a run such as this. You can just build them, a couple of workers, leave him to it with some wind powered water pumps, wells or such like, and he'll crack on. And today these got released. They're mini water barrels or water tanks. I haven't really done much with them. I just dropped them there just so I could show them in today's video. I think they do 2 to 3 crop a side, so I will find that really handy in the next setup, which I'm going to do in the next day or two. I'm going to crash all of this. I just want to do something a little bit more exciting, something a little bit quirky. As you can see, I love my uniformed lines and ducks in a row as such. Even this little operation here I find quite messy, but it's very, very effective and it does its job. But I'm more into the uniformed look. So I'm going to crash all this. I've got 25 days to go, 8 million odd, a bit of stock here, keep me going to keep my get my target of 5,000 stars a day. I'll crash all this, leave a bit of storage, maybe keep 20-30 uniform. So I've got a couple of days to play with, and I'll show you what I've done with it. Thanks for watching.